Nations have a lot of legend stories, creation stories, how our land was developed. I mean, I could show you rocks that were once people. I could show you a hill, and I can show you a place where people, where the beaver made a dam. And there's stories about that. I know First Nations in this country, many stories like that. In our legend stories, like many, we all, in our legends, we all spoke Chilcotin. The animals, the birds, the fish, and us. And that language has changed. We all speak the same language, but it has changed. But in our legend story, we call Senxiymetkwe. Senxiymetkwe is a story about a group in the Chilcotin. And this group had a chief, had different animals in there. Magpie, there was an old dog, and a young girl. And this young girl becoming an adult. And we all know about stories. How do you get your power when you become an adult? What happens and the things you have to do. And she, at night, because she's become an adult and she did all her ceremonies and she's back at her village. And some of these stories probably similar to many First Nations, but in this case, what happened was that this young lady, a strong, young, handsome man used to come every night. But she never knew who it was. The next day, looking around, never found this person. So this time she, through our medicine, she was able to have a medicine in place so that you can put paint on this person's back. Next day, she's looking around and nobody. Then she got home, there was an old dog, had a paint on his back. And she got scared. And throughout this whole process in our legend is the magpie. And magpie is a bird that's doing everything. She knows the history, and she kind of sees something coming here, and she knows that things are going to blow up, so she's trying to help this young lady. So she always communicate with this young lady because she was alone. She didn't want to tell nobody what happened. And then she got pregnant. And then as time went on, then she had 3 little puppies. So the chief, the village, they just couldn't believe what happened. This is bad news. So they all left her. Just left her and the dog. But the magpie was always coming back and helping out. And there's a raven story in this, there's a beaver story, there's a whole bunch of stories. But I want to go through this quick. What happened was that, as you know, these little puppies, they grow fast. And she used to go out and harvest, and the dog, the old dog, and the puppies would stay around. She'd come back home in a pit house, and she sees human tracks. And she's like, what's going on? So she made herself a dummy of herself, and she was picking wild potatoes. And she snuck. And while she's going through all this process, she set it up so she could put a hole in a pit house so she can see what's going on in there. So she found out that when she made a dummy of herself, she looked through the hole and there was the old dog taking off his hide. Nice, young looking, strong man, and the little puppies took off their hide. And they would sing and dance around this fire. And what she did was she set it up so eventually she was able to get in there really quick, and she got the little puppy's hide, threw him in the fire. And then, but the man was halfway, got back in half of his hide. She ripped the rest off and she threw in the fire. And that's what we call Senxiymetkwe. Senxiymetkwe is half human, half dog. And in our culture, in First Nations culture, twins are powerful. They say if you're a parent of a twin, you cannot look at a person in the eye, and there's certain things you can and can't do, and especially when if you're angry, because it comes back at you twice fold. So that's, here you have 3 boys. That's triplets, that's power. And the magpie and and the dog, because it's an old dog, he knew the history of Chalcotin, and he knew the issues back in them days, how things were working out, different animals eating people and tricking people, and there's stories about that too. But what they were set out to do is fix all that. And they made it so that animals, they speak their own language. Chalcotins speak their own language, and they were changing things and animals so that they don't do bad stuff. And but what they were told is the Chikmak, in our language we say, because Chikmak don't mean any harm to you. You leave them alone. But these boys, being young, they went after the Chikmak and they almost caught it. And that's why there's a mark, a line on their back, and they turn into stone. So if you were to look on Chalcotin River, I can show you where those three dogs, the little dogs and the big dog, turn into stone. So there's a lot of stories like that. But in this story here about this hunter and warrior, a branch of that story, he lost his sight. He was frustrated, angry, cannot protect, cannot provide, and this loon is watching all this on the pond, in the lake, and he see this beautiful necklace, and this loon made a deal with him. I can give you your sight back in exchange for that necklace. To me, this song that I'm going to sing is about what happened in Supreme Court of Canada on June 26th. The sight is back. Good